have you. I don't want you to have anyone. And if you don't want me, there's something wrong with them, right?
Hey, what's up, family and friends in America? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing some freezer meals. These are the long-awaited freezer meals that I've been talking about in these past couple of vlogs. I'm finally going to be showing y'all and sharing with y'all today what these freezer meals are going to be, and we're also going to go ahead and make them, or try to make most of them anyway. So I have my list here. This is my list of all the things that I'm planning on making. I'm planning on making beef and chicken enchiladas, some taco meat for tacos, jerk chicken, chicken and sausage gumbo. I'm gonna skip the Mississippi roast because I've just put the roast in the freezer. It was really big, and once I take that out of the packaging that is in, I don't have anything to repackage it up in. And the ingredients are really simple for that, so I just put the meat in the freezer. We're gonna have chili and cornbread. We're gonna have a cowboy lasagna. We'll have meatballs, teriyaki meatballs. We're gonna have a slow cooker garlic sesame meatballs, pepper jack chicken and stuffing, and then we're also gonna have a chicken bacon ranch casserole. So those are all the things that I have planned for our freezer meals today. Let's get into it. Okay, so here are some of the items here up on the counter right now. This is what we're gonna work with. We're gonna start off with our veggies. I do have to bring the onions out, but we have some bell peppers over here, some celery. This is cilantro. This is green onion, the garlic. Got a couple, oh, there's the green peppers over there. I gotta go get the onion. And this is something that I left off because this was something that I took out the other night that I was supposed to make, but there's not enough in here for all of us. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and make it, since I've already taken it out and defrosted it. I can't put it back in the freezer until it's cooked. So I'm gonna cook this, and but not all the way through. So this way when we get ready to eat this, we can just put it in the oven and it'll heat up the rest of the way. So, but this is gonna be like a smothered pork chop type of deal. So that's that. But yeah, this is pretty much the setup for now. I'm going to start chopping up all the veggies like I said, and then we will go ahead and start adding meals. I have chicken to clean and all that good stuff. So let's get started, y'all.
So the first thing I'm going to do is start chopping up all of my vegetables because I'm going to need these throughout the meals. So I figure I'll just go ahead, chop everything up first, and then this way I can just grab as I need some. So the first thing we're going to do is go ahead and clean and season our pork chops to get them ready to cook. Here are some of the seasonings that I used to season my pork chops. You can use whatever you like, but this is just what I use today. Now that our pork chops are seasoned, I'm going to take some of this grapeseed oil and just lightly cover the pan. And then I'm going to go ahead and start sauteing these pork chops. I wound up cooking them all the way through because they were really thin. If they're thick, usually when I'm actually cooking them, I won't cook them all the way through. Like when I'm actually making the meal for that day, usually I won't saute them all the way through. I'll just kind of let them saute halfway, and then when I cover it with the sauce and everything, I'll let it continue to simmer until they're fully cooked. But in this case, the pork chops were really thin, and then I was refreezing them again, so I did go ahead and cook them all the way through. I know I said in the beginning that I was only going to cook them halfway, but I was thinking in terms of when I usually make it for that day. And didn't account for the thinness either. So what I'm going to do, go ahead and saute them up, and then I'll take them out and we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so on to the next step. We're going to start adding our veggies into this dish. So we're going to go ahead and deglaze the pan, but first we're going to add some oil, some more of the grapeseed oil. We're going to next add some onions, and then we'll add some green pepper, and we're going to saute that up and let that get nice and fragranted. And then we'll add some garlic as well and let that all simmer up for just a few minutes. So now that all the veggies are sauteed, we're going to add our can of cream of mushroom and about half a can of water to this mix. And then we'll let it do its thing, make its gravy, and then we're going to set it to the side to let it cool off. Next on the menu is chicken and sausage gumbo. I always take the skin off my chicken, and this is why. Alright, I love this recipe because it's really like one of those dump and go recipes, whether you're making it in your crock pot immediately or whether you're making it as a freezer meal. You basically dump all these ingredients in there and just let it do its thing. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and now that I've cleaned the chicken, I'm going to go ahead and start building this bag. I'm just going to start adding all the ingredients in here into the bag. And then when it's time to actually make this meal, all I have to do is pull it out, either the night before or the morning of, and then I'll just let it sit out for a little bit so it can defrost. And then I'll put it in the crock pot for about 4 to 6 hours on high, and I think it's 6 to 8 hours on low, but I usually do things on high because I'm doing it for that day. And then when it's almost done, I would say maybe about 30 minutes before everything is done, you want to go ahead and add some okra into the pot to give it that gumbo consistency. That's one of the things that I forgot to show you guys that was included in this recipe, but I did add the the okra when it was time to make this meal. But I just want to say a lot of these recipes that I make, you can find on my Pinterest. I've gotten a lot of recipes off of Pinterest over the years, and this is one of them. So yeah, definitely check the link down below so you can follow me on Pinterest and get some of these really, really great recipes as well. I ran out of room in this bag, so what I'm going to do is just put the rest of the chicken in another bag, just like you see here. I added some seasoning, some garlic, and all that good stuff, and I'll just dump that in, when it's time to put it in the crock pot. I'll have just the 2 bags of chicken to dump in the pot. After our pork chop meal, my gravy has finally cooled off, so now I'm ready to go ahead and combine everything and put it in the baggie and get it ready to go down into the freezer. And that's pretty much it. So when I'm ready to make this meal, I'll just take it out the night before or the morning of, let it defrost just a little bit, and then I will put it back into this saute pan, this skillet pan here, and I'll let it simmer for about 30 minutes. If you decide to buy bone-in chops, you'll let it simmer 30 to 40 minutes. Obviously, slow and low, or low and slow, as they say, is definitely the way to go when you make this. Because I'm telling you, the stuff comes out so tender, so tender. You're gonna thank me later. Definitely try it and thank me later. let's make pepper jack chicken and stuffing. Okay, so here is another really quick and simple one. You're going to start off by spraying your pan with your desired oil spray. I'm using the Great Value vegetable oil spray. Then you're going to go ahead and season up your chicken. You can season it however you like to season it. Just keep in mind that you're going to be using stuffing in this recipe, so you want to do something that's going to complement the stuffing, you know what I mean? So yeah, I'll show you what I used in just a few minutes. Next, you're going to add your cream of chicken all over the chicken. Just coat it all on top of the chicken that you just seasoned. So now that you've added your cream of chicken, you want to go ahead and start adding your pepper jack cheese. You can definitely use slices if you prefer. Both of them work. And then like maybe 20 minutes prior to the chicken being ready, you want to go ahead and add your stuffing mix on top. Let that do its thing. And here are the seasonings that I used to season my chicken today. I wrapped it in plastic and then put the lid on. This one is a really simple one. The taco meat, I'm sure everyone has made this before. There's going to be nothing different about this. We're going to go ahead and fry up the meat, let it cool, and we'll add it to our baggie. While the meat is browning, I'm going to go ahead and put a pot of water on to start boiling for my noodles from one of my next meals. Just kind of want to save a little bit of time. So the way I make my brown meat is that I usually cook it almost all the way through, but it's still a little bit pink. And then that's when I'll drain off any excess oil or anything like that and set it to the side. Next thing I'll do is I'll go ahead and start adding my veggies, my onions, and my garlic and stuff like that. So let that start sauteing, and then I'll add my meat back in. Water is boiling. It's already time to add the noodles. I'll go ahead and add a half a box of the penne noodles to this pot, and I'll let them cook and do their thing while I'm still working on the ground beef. And in this way, hopefully by the time I'm finished working on this meal, the noodles will be cool enough for me to start working on that meal. So you kind of want to think ahead and do what you can where you can to kind of save some time. So that's what I was doing here. You can see what I was saying, how the meat is still a little bit pink. But now I'm going to go ahead and add that back in so that the onions can, get their flavoring into the meat and let it cook the rest of the way through. Then I'll go ahead and start adding my seasonings. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
This might be right. Either you feel it or you don't. Might give it a try. Yeah. Our bodies collide. Baby, you're everything I want. Let's give it some time. Yeah.
Now that my meat is all done, I'm going to go ahead and transfer it to this glass bowl because I'm going to be using this pan again for the next meal. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Make sure you have plenty of clean dishes going on, and if you have several skillets or pans that you can use, by all means use what you have. But I absolutely love this skillet. This is like one of my favorite kitchen tools, and I use this skillet a lot, so I wanted to reuse it again. So I'm just gonna, like I said, put the meat in this bowl, set it to the side to cool off, and then I'm gonna wash it and get ready to reuse it. Next up, cowboy lasagna. So you want to start off by browning your ground beef, ground turkey, whatever it is you decide to use. I'm using the ground beef today. And then the next step you want to do is just start doing whatever else you can do to prep. So I'm going to be using the pepperoni here, and I'm going to go ahead and start chopping that up I like to chop them up into halves when I do this recipe, or any kind of recipe that I'm using pepperoni for. I just feel like it kind of stretches the meat, and it's just, it's just not so big. So that's what I'm going to do. So the next thing we're going to do is go ahead and brown this ground pork, which is also part of the recipe. Don't forget to go ahead and follow me on Pinterest so you can have access to this recipe with all the ingredients and the directions as well. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and, like I said, brown this up, and then we will set this to the side and move on to the next step. And now that all of our meat has been browned, either partially or all the way through, we're going to go ahead and start adding our vegetables. Y'all have already seen me do this once before, so same thing applies. I just start adding all my veggies, and then I will add my ground beef back in and let that, cook the rest of the way through with the veggies in, so you can get that infused flavor of all the vegetables into the ground beef. And so you'll see me do that in just a moment. I'll add the beef back, and then I'll add the ground pork, and then I'll let that simmer for a few. And also add in all my seasonings at this point as well. The next meal, chicken enchilada bake. Alright, this one was a new one for my kitchen. I had just found the recipe the same day on Pinterest. So yeah, let's get started. As you can see, I chopped up my cilantro, I chopped up my chicken. It was a rotisserie chicken that I had gotten from Sam's. And then we're going to go ahead and add some sour cream into this. Now, I know this sounds really, really strange, and as I was making this recipe, I was like, oh, this is going to be really, really weird. Sour cream, just like a blob of it in the chicken like that. I was just like, this might be a fail. But stay tuned, because this actually came out really, really good, and we wound up eating it for dinner that night, and my family absolutely loved it. So this was a surefire hit in the house, and was pleasantly surprised, like I said, after it was all said and done. And yeah, definitely try this recipe out if you like enchiladas. The plan was to make individual enchiladas. I know I said burritos earlier, but I meant to say enchiladas. And so I was going to have them individually rolled up, but then when I found this recipe, I was like, okay, yeah, this is a shortcut, and I can go ahead and do this really quickly in between everything else I was doing. So, it kind of saved me time not having to roll up each tortilla and stuff like that. So definitely give it a shot. Okay, back to our cowboy lasagna. Remember, we had the meat cooling. So now we're going to go ahead and start building that pan while our enchilada bake is in the oven. So to this pan, we're going to start adding some spaghetti sauce, some pasta sauce, and then we're going to start layering it just as you would a lasagna. I'm using two types of cheeses today. I'm using both mozzarella and Parmesan. I do think the recipe calls for them, but I would have used these anyway. And then don't worry about those lasagna noodles, y'all. I did not boil these noodles at all. I just took them out the box and I put them right into the pan along with all the ingredients. When you're making freezer meals, it's not a big deal to put your lasagna noodles in like this because all of the moisture from the food, and then once you thaw it out and everything, gets into the noodles and makes it perfect. So like if you cook them first and then you put them in here, it kind of gives you like a soggier, like a thicker noodle when it's all said and done. But when you do it like this, it comes out perfect. Yeah, I forgot the cheddar cheese as well. Okay, our enchilada bake is done. Doesn't it look delicious? Next on the menu is jerk chicken. I know a lot of people are not strangers to this meal, and everyone makes it a little bit different, and here's my version. So sometimes I will go ahead and cut slits into my chicken just so when I season it and have it marinating, that flavor can get all the way deep down inside the chicken. And for me, this is another dump and go meal. So basically I just season up all the chicken. I have this Grace jerk chicken seasoning or jerk seasoning. I have some ground ginger. I think I put some black pepper in there. Some of my kicking chicken that I put in everything, y'all. I put it in everything. That stuff is so good. But yeah, I went ahead and seasoned up my chicken. I'm going to go ahead and add my veggies. And I have this jerk seasoning, like marinade paste stuff. It's by Grace. And so you'll see me add some of that in there as well. I'll mix this up thoroughly and then I'll just add it into the baggie and then into the freezer it goes. What y'all know about Mississippi chicken or Mississippi roast? You guys, this is another really, really easy one. You only need these 4 ingredients right here, or 5 ingredients right here. You're gonna dump all these ingredients in your crock pot and then go. That's it, okay? It's so, so simple. Well, the first time I made this recipe, my family was like really, really tripping because it does smell like feet the first time you make it. But the next time you make it, your family knows exactly what it is and they will be asking you when it's ready. Like, they will be on your case about this, okay? This one is a really, really good one. If you have not tried this one yet, please go ahead and try it. You will definitely thank me later. I know this is sounding redundant, but you will thank me later for this one. I'll put a few people onto this and they absolutely love it. I made it to the last recipe, which is chicken bacon ranch casserole. So this recipe was a new one. I've never ever made it before. It's been in my Pinterest for a really long time, but just never got around to making it. Now, I did use rotisserie chicken, but the recipe called for you to saute the chicken with the ranch seasoning. So that's what I went ahead and did, and then we'll move on to the next steps. So now we're going to start working on the cream sauce for this dish. We added some butter to the pan, some cheese, some heavy cream, some pepper and such. So And now we're going to start assembling this pasta. The noodles are in a baggie because these freezer meals went over into the next day for me. So I had to kind of put stuff away. But the noodles are already done. Remember, we had made the noodles while we were making another meal. So, technically, if I was still cooking on the same day, these would have been, cooled off and been ready for me to start adding to this dish. So now I'm just mixing everything up. Like I said, I'm adding all the ingredients in here, and then I'm going to add it into my baking dish, my pan. And then I forgot to show on here, but I did have to add, I think it was mozzarella cheese and also cheddar cheese. I added to the mix. And then, yeah, we just wrapped it all up and we're ready to put it in the freezer. Here are all my meals. Now, another thing I forgot to mention was that I did put all of the instructions, as you can see, on the lids of the meals. This way, if somebody else from the family took something out of the freezer, they know exactly what to do, exactly what to serve it with, how long it needs to be in the oven, the temperature of the oven, and all that good stuff. So nothing is a secret. Everything is right there for the family. They can just take it out and make the meal if I don't get a chance to do it before them. So yeah, these are all the meals that I made. I didn't make as many as I would have liked to have made, but this is definitely going to give us a head start on my work week ahead.
So that's all of the freezer meals that I got through this time. I think I managed to get about 10 of them done, actually prepared. I forgot to get turkey meat, y'all. I was supposed to be making chili as well, but I forgot the turkey meat. Actually, I didn't really forget. I just never made it to the store where I buy my turkey meat from. And I buy my turkey meat from Aldi. They come in these little round sausage-looking things, and that's where I buy my turkey meat from. But I didn't make it there this shopping trip, but hopefully next time, or if we want chili sometime in between here when we're having these freezer meals, I'll go and pick that up. And that's really simple to do, but we'll do that next time. But yeah, you guys, also keep in mind that I didn't do the meatballs because meatballs are also another one of those meals where you can just kind of dump it in the crock pot, add your ingredients, and go. So those won't take a long time either. And then there are, if you watch my haul video, we also got hamburgers and hot dogs or whatever. So those can be kind of fill-in meals. And then of course, I expect that at least sometime during the month or within a couple of weeks that we have these freezer meals, we'll probably be ordering out. Don't forget about that. So if you get to a point where you can make your freezer meals for a month, that's great. But if you don't, just remember to keep in mind those days that you plan on ordering out or something like that. So those kind of fill in some of the days. And then there's always leftovers. So sometimes we have leftovers. I expect that with at least a few of these meals, we will have some leftovers, so that'll carry us into the next day for dinner. So that kind of stretches things out a little bit too. I think I got a pretty good head start on what it is I'm trying to do here. So yeah, you guys, if you enjoyed this video, definitely give me a thumbs up. And also hit the subscribe button if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified every time I upload a video. But definitely give me your feedback on this. Let me know if you want to see more videos like this or other household mom related videos. I'm trying to expand the content here on my channel. So yeah, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, go ahead and hit the subscription box below. And with all that, you guys, I will see you all in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate you all. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.